Hey guys, Paul here. So today I actually wanted to talk about what I think is an underrated and underutilized way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! That Konami seems to have kind of forgotten, and it's a bit of a shame, and that is the Battle Pack. So I've got these two here. This is Battle Pack 1 and Battle Pack 3, and we're going to talk about them a little bit. So, first of all, what exactly is the Battle Pack? Well, the Battle Pack is basically sort of meant to be a draft set. So it was designed from the ground up to be something that you can draft with friends. We've actually done this in our own videos over on the main Team APS channel. With 4 people, it's a lot of fun. You can all take packs, use different drafting methods, like, maybe everybody opens a pack, picks a card, passes it around, and like kind of repeats. It's a whole fun thing. That in of itself is a great time, by the way, if you haven't done it. But the way they design the set is they kind of have a specific power level in mind, a specific set of cards, spell trap removal, attack and defense altering, sort of different like floating type effects, boss monsters. And Konami basically curated this format that is played out in this box. I think there's about 250-ish cards in this set, and most of them tend to be about that big. And it needs to be a lot of cards. There's a lot of variety. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And when they first introduced it in 2012, the way that it worked was you could obviously like buy this and just play it at locals with a friend or whatever. But they also made it where at YCS events, if you got into the top cut at a YCS, then the top cut matches were actually played with the battle pack sets. So you would actually draft with these, and it was a mixed reception sort of thing. For a person who's really familiar with the cards in the battle pack, they could definitely know exactly what cards to draft and like exactly how to build their deck and really stop the competition, which can be fun, but maybe not so fun for the people who don't know. And maybe the bigger deal was just that you made it all the way to top cut of a YCS with like, your advanced format, like super just specific prepared deck, and now you're being asked to kind of throw it out the window and then use this. So it wasn't super well received. However, I think that as a more casual way to play, and even at like local tournaments, this can be loads of fun. It's fun mainly for 2 reasons. The first is the power level thing that I mentioned, which is like good because we all know current Yu-Gi-Oh! Is filled to the hell with power creep, right? It's pretty insane. But also just because everybody has a fair chance at everything. So the way that like the draft might go is sort of like what I said. You can either buy this, which has like 10 packs in it, right? And just, open it, you get these 10 packs, this is what you make your deck with, you're done. Or you can do the like pass around the table method that can be a little bit more strategic and social and involved, which is fun. But either way, the pool of cards is fixed, and no one's really going to get like drastically better cards than anybody else's, and there's nothing that's like completely off limits. So there are some pretty powerful staple cards in here. I believe this set in particular actually has many different banned cards. I know that banned at the time that this came out at least, like Raigeki, like Harpy's Feather Duster, like Demok without its errata. There's all kinds of really strong cards in here. But even so, it balances out because everyone has access to them, and even maybe more so than that, there's just kind of that fact that like there's no price barrier really. Outside of buying the cards themselves, you and the person next to you, they don't get to have like a playset of secret rare triple tactics thrust that you don't have, or some, access code talker or whatever other expensive extra deck monster that you don't have access to. It's all available. So that's a really nice thing. And what they did with these battle packs that I thought was super duper cool is they actually had themes for each one. So the first battle pack is Epic Dawn. I don't know if there was really much of a theme to it. It was just kind of like older-ish cards that were pretty good and had like decent utility. Not a whole bunch of a theme, although they did design the packs where you would always get a card like of each. There's like pools of cards. So it'd be like, okay, you get 1 high-level monster, 1 low-level monster, 1 spell trap that was based on like attack altering, 1 that's based on removal, that sort of thing. So like packs are guaranteed to have like a nice mix. But the theme in here was just general battle pack stuff. The theme of Battle Pack 2, which I don't have featured here, but the theme of Battle Pack 2, you can just imagine it somewhere in the middle, is War of the Giants. And so the goal there was, it was all about big monsters. That was the theme. So like boss monsters, or really just double tribute monsters, single tribute, double tribute monsters, which I thought was really cool. So instead of, focusing just on your weaker things, most of the weaker monsters in that set were designed around helping facilitate the summon of the stronger ones. So you couldn't just get by with using, cards that got like free, like bounces with like a Gravekeeper's Guard or, you know, like Breaker the Magical Warrior. Most of them were just maybe going to generate tokens or kind of like live a battle a turn or two, something like that, so they could then be tributed. And I like that because it meant that you did have to commit a little more to your plays, which is kind of cool. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't always promote that at times, depending on the format and stuff. So that was really cool. And then they released Battle Pack 2 Round 2, which is sort of a supplementary set that was meant to complement the first set and fill in some gaps that it had. I think they realized they didn't have maybe enough like spell and trap removal. So trap cards were maybe getting to be like too powerful. So that's where they introduced a few extra things like that. And they also used it as an opportunity to reprint a few cards that were pricey at the time. I remember like Big Eye, I think, being in the set. Safe Zone. High Priestess of Prophecy might have been reprinted in there. Don't take my word for that. So yeah, I thought that was a really cool theme. And then finally there's Battle Pack 3, which was called Monster League, is actually the name of this. And so basically there was a special rule for this set. All monsters were considered all types, which is awesome because it meant that like I can use the effect of, say, Golden Flying Fish, where you tribute a fish monster to pop a card, with any monster because all my monsters are considered all types. And if you were using Rhoda, then you could search your deck for any monster because they're all considered warriors. It was a neat, fun little rule, and one that I just think is really cool because, you know, people want alternate ways to play Yu-Gi-Oh! That's what Konami was offering here. It's a shame these products did not sell super well because I get it, right? Nobody really likes to play with like old cards. That always feels like it's so boring. I want to play with a fun new thing. But I do think that there is some real value in these curated sets where the power level is a little more fixed and the goals and objectives are a little bit more like set in stone instead of the wild, wild west that we have today. So I think that Konami should actually bring them back. There's a lot of really fun themes I feel like they could explore. They could do like summoning type specific ones. So we're talking maybe like a synchro specific battle pack where it's like a lot of tuners, a lot of synchros, but there are maybe no like link monsters so it doesn't get too out of control, or you can finally tune exactly what tuners you get. For me, for instance, I think that having cards like Plague Spreader Zombie and stuff could be really fun, but maybe you could leave out something that feels like it's a little too overbearing, like Excel Synchron or, you know, Glow Up Bulb or something like that. Or maybe you could have them, and maybe it would feel fair as long as you don't have access to the most powerful synchros. Like imagine a synchro format where Barone isn't allowed, but a lot of other synchros are. That could be cool. There could be an Xyz-based battle pack. Arguably, that's kind of what some of these were because they all released in that era. But like, you know, an Xyz-centric battle pack could be fun. Maybe even a Pendulum-centric one. I think that could help to change the public perception around Pendulums. I know like people have mixed feelings on them, but I think that if you had like one where it was all Pendulum-centric, that's neat. Or even maybe a Link-based one, although I don't know, that feels like that could get out of hand pretty fast. And my last thing I'll say is that Konami has kind of revisited the battle pack formula through their Speed Duel products. This is Speed Duel GX, the Duel Academy box. We've also done videos with these. They're pretty fun, and I think Speed Duels is a neat way to play, although I think Battle Pack's a little bit better just because like you get to play that master format that everybody likes with like five zones, full life points. That said, though, this still has some value, so if you haven't checked out Speed Duel, Duel Academy boxes and that sort of thing, it is worth a look. But yeah, I just think that Yu-Gi-Oh! Needs to bring back some sort of a draft format. It would be really cool. Konami, if you're watching, do it. If you guys would like to see this, or would like to see different themes of a battle pack, you know, please let me know down in the comments. Maybe Konami will read it and take some advice. I mean, I doubt it, but hey, you know, a guy can dream. That's pretty much it. That's my little spiel on battle packs. Hopefully you guys liked it. Let me know if you've played this, what you liked, what your favorites were. Have you done something like it? I think I've gone on long enough about this very niche little slice of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll see you guys in the next one. Pass turn.